World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history. Over 60 million people killed, entire cities wiped off the map. But how did it all begin? You see, after World War I, Germany was broken. The Treaty of Versailles forced it to pay massive reparations and accept full blame for the war. People were poor, angry, and desperate. Then in 1933, a man named Adolf Hitler rose to power, promising to rebuild Germany's pride. Hitler told his people they were a superior race. He blamed others for their suffering and promised to restore glory. But to do that, he began breaking every rule of the Treaty of Versailles. He rebuilt the army, united with Austria, and took Czechoslovakia, while Britain and France simply watched, hoping to avoid another war. Then, in September 1939, Hitler invaded Poland. That's when Britain and France finally said enough. They declared war on Germany. World War II had begun. Within months, Hitler's Blitzkrieg lightning war crushed Poland, Denmark, Norway, Belgium, and France. German tanks rolled through Europe with terrifying speed. By 1940, France had fallen, and Britain stood alone. But Britain refused to surrender. The German Air Force bombed London day after day, yet the Royal Air Force held the skies, and Hitler's dream of invasion failed. Meanwhile, Mussolini's Italy joined the Axis powers and expanded the war to North Africa and Greece. But their campaigns were disasters. Germany had to rescue its own ally. Then came Hitler's biggest mistake, attacking the Soviet Union. In June 1941, millions of German soldiers crossed the border in Operation Barbarossa. At first, they advanced quickly, but Russia's brutal winter, endless land, and fierce resistance stopped them cold. The war on the Eastern Front became a nightmare. Entire cities starved. Millions died. Germany would never recover from it. That same year, another Axis power, Japan, shocked the world. On December 7, 1941, Japanese planes bombed Pearl Harbor. America, until then neutral, entered the war. Now the conflict was truly global. In North Africa, the Allies finally defeated the Germans at El Alamein. Then they landed in Italy, where Mussolini's regime collapsed. The Italians overthrew him and switched sides, fighting against Germany. In 1944 came the turning point, D-Day. On June 6th, American, British, and Canadian forces stormed Normandy's beaches in the largest sea invasion in history. It was the beginning of the end for Hitler. From the west, the Allies pushed toward Berlin. From the east, the Soviets crushed the Nazis city by city. By April 1945, Berlin was in ruins. Hitler, trapped in his bunker, chose death over defeat. On April 30th, he took his own life. 1 week later, Germany surrendered, but the war wasn't over yet. In the Pacific, Japan still fought fiercely. American forces moved island by island until only Japan remained. Then came a new weapon, the atomic bomb. In August 1945, the U.S. dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The devastation was unimaginable. Days later, Japan surrendered. World War II was finally over. The numbers are staggering. Over 60 million people dead. Entire nations reduced to rubble. The Holocaust exposed humanity's darkest side. But from that horror came change. The United Nations was created. European nations began to unite to prevent another global war. The US and Soviet Union emerged as superpowers, beginning a new era, the Cold War. World War II reshaped the planet politically, socially, and morally. It showed both the worst and the best of humanity. And 80 years later, its lessons still echo. Power can destroy, but unity can rebuild. Because in the end, history isn't just about what we fought for, it's about what we learned to never repeat again.